Part of the beauty of a database is that as well as holding all your data, it allows you to organise and present your data in useful ways. A significant part of the organising process is to sort data into summary groups, and FileMaker has some neat tricks up its sleeve to make this quite straightforward. Let's say I want to produce a grouped and summarised list of publications. To do that, I'll create a new report layout based on the Publications table. So, in Layout mode, I'll navigate to the Publications table to set a starting context. And then the first step towards building a report is to choose the New Layout Report command from the Layouts menu. That brings up the New Layout Report dialog. This dialog is a bit deceptive. It has the look of a regular dialog, but depending on the options you choose, it can also work as the first in a series of dialog panels that work together to provide what's sometimes called wizard functionality, guiding you through the selection of a series of configuration options to set up every aspect of your new layout. Notice that because I was starting from the Publications layout, FileMaker has preset the context for the new layout as the Publications table occurrence. But here at the top of the dialog, I can choose a different TO as the basis of the report if I want. In this case, I don't need to do that. The Publications TO is what I want. Next up is the layout name. I'll enter a descriptive name for the report. Let's call it Publications Summary. Further down in this first panel of the dialog, you can see that there's a scrollable list of different types of layout I can create. In this case, I'll choose the option for a report. And when I do, you can see that the illustration at the right of the dialog has changed to indicate the layout format for the type of layout I'm creating. And also, down the bottom, a couple of other options have become available and are pre-selected for inclusion of subtotals and grand totals. In this case, I just want a simple report, so I'll turn off those options. And then when I click the Next button at the lower right, rather than dismissing the dialog, I'm presented with another panel of options, this one to specify fields for inclusion on the new report layout. Notice that the current table shows the selection of the current TO publications, and the available fields in that table are listed in the box at the left. I'll choose the title field, publication title, and the year field, shift-clicking on them to select them both in the list, and then I'll click the Move button in the centre of the dialog to bring those two fields across into the Fields Shown on Layout Report list at the right of the dialog. Now I'm going to do something a bit tricky and choose a different table occurrence, in this case authors, choose the author's last name and move that across as well, and I'll choose the publisher's table occurrence, select the publisher name and bring that across into the Fields Shown on Layout Report. Now when I click Next, I have the option to categorise the report by any of the fields that I've chosen. I'll categorise it first by the publisher, and then I'll also categorise it by the author. Notice that again I have an illustration at the right of the format of the report I'm producing, and in this case the publisher name is shown in green and appears also in the list of details under each group. The author's name, the second grouping category, is also appearing in the list of details within the group. Actually, I don't really need them there in this case, so I'll uncheck them, and you can see as I do that they disappear from the details that are listed within the group. Now when I click Next, FileMaker prompts me to sort the report and provides sorting by each of the two categories that I chose in the previous panels. That's fine in this case, so I'll simply accept those settings and move on. Now I'm being asked to choose a theme, and FileMaker has pre-selected the purple theme, which was the theme of the Publications layout that I used as the starting context. And again, that's fine, so I'll click Next to move on. Now I'm being asked what information I'd like in the header and footer of the report. And I'm prompted to choose from a range of options in the header, at the left, centre and right, and again in the footer at the left, centre and right. For this report, I'll choose the layout name to sit in the centre of the header, and perhaps I'll choose the page number to go in the centre of the footer. Clicking Next again to move on, FileMaker asks whether we'd like to create a script to automatically generate the report for us. And why not? I'll choose the option to create a script, and the name Publication Summary, which is being suggested, is a fine name for the script in this case. And finally, we're being invited to view the report in Browse mode or Layout mode. I'll ask to view the report in Layout mode first, and then we'll look at it in Browse mode subsequently. And now, because this is the final panel of the dialog, the button at the lower right is Finish, and when I click on it, we'll see the report that's been created. This looks pretty good, but I might make a couple of minor changes. First of all, I'll move the year field across to the right, and I'll select the title field and make it a bit wider, because the book titles are often a little wider than the field that was provided. And for this report, I'll select both the year and title field and remove the fill. So with a couple of minor tweaks there, I'm going to go back to Browse mode and have a look at the report. Now notice that the report simply lists the various publications in the table, and in order to view the report grouped and sorted, I'll need to use the script that's been created and placed on the scripts menu, Publication Summary. As soon as I do that, you can see that FileMaker sorts the records and the report is presented grouped according to publisher and then author. Probably the best example of the grouping of the data in this particular table is the entry for Penguin Books. First of all, we have the heading for publisher, Penguin Books. Then we have the first author, Austen, and 2 books by Austen, Emma and Mansfield Park, and then a second author published by Penguin Books, Chekhov, and the book by Chekhov, The Cherry Orchard. So using a relatively automatic process within FileMaker, I've been able to create a publication summary which gives me a fairly detailed report grouping books by author and publisher. You can use a similar process to create a wide range of reports grouping and summarising data with summary fields included if you like. And of course, the visual appearance of the layout can be adjusted as you wish using all of the tools and techniques available in Layout mode.